Going to pick up.
I just think.
Oh, problems on the racetrack. The 41 gets turned around. That is Dan Brody. Caution flag flies once again.
Any damage? I don't see anything on the. Doesn't look like the truck's damaged.
It doesn't look like it.
Got a left rear tire down there. Obviously, the right, both left sides.
Good chance the right sides are too.
Looks like the right ones are all. You might have 4 flat tires on that car.
Take another look. In the middle.
Ooh, you know what?
Boy,
Just gets sucked around, man.
Dan said, "What are you doing over there?" Brett Butler made a strong move to the outside.
Just sucked that back in.
Career nationwide series start. He's an ARCA veteran. And let's see if his Dodge can overcome a lack of speed in practice. Mike Garvey is still the bubble driver at 29.59.
Whoa! Oh, here he comes. Hang on to her. Hang on to her.
Ouch.
And he knew he had to step it up to try to get into the show, and then the car just would not take it.
He came within an ace of doing an almost amazing job to keep that thing out of the wall, because he was doing everything he could.
But Darrell, it all started way over there in turn 4 with his 51 car.
Yeah. He starts up the hill here. You see him push, 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 and then snap. And then that right there didn't hurt it, but once it took off like this, if he could have just look how see how he turned the wheels left. It was a perfect drive. It just didn't get down fast enough to keep from missing the wall. But he thought about it. He knew what he was doing.
He didn't have the speed in practice. He knew here he had to keep his foot in it and not let off.
Yeah.
But Dexter Bean's lap, 31 seconds, won't be enough to get the live wire.
See what that feels like, and then you're liable to put a coil bind set up in the front, which means you're
problems. The 24, A.J. Allmendinger, once the leader of this race, he gets into the 46 Nemechek. And so Allmendinger, Nemechek, a lot of damage to those trucks.
You can hear A.J. Allmendinger tell his crew he's sorry.
All right.
Looked like he just got sideways there when the 46 of Nemechek had absolutely nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was Nemechek saying he was sorry, and his guy said,
"Holy moly.
It's okay, you didn't have anywhere to go," and he didn't.
Yeah. Let's take another look at it there. There's Allmendinger, the 24 on the bottom of the racetrack. Johnny goes to the high side. That's going to take air off his spoiler, Michael.
Oh, wow. Just like Mark Martin. You know, it's just slippery over there right now. Skinner almost did the same thing.
Johnny Benson taking the lead, going by A.J. Allmendinger.
That's big for Johnny, too. That's 5 bonus points.
Let's look at this at speed.
Scary at speed. Where do those guys go behind them? They just know to go low.
You see all the smoke back there. Those trucks right behind them couldn't see a thing.
And as A.J. Allmendinger stepping into this deal, leading the race early, he didn't really do anything terribly wrong there. You know, the truck came around the outside of him, and I guarantee you he about had a heart attack when that thing spun out. He didn't see that one coming. Wasn't like he stuck it in a hole that wasn't there and made a mistake. Krista, what's he saying?
Guys, down here in the 24 pit, there's actually a huge, I guess you would call it a laceration on the left side of the truck. They're putting tons of tape on it, going around, putting tires on the right side. They're saying, just take a look at everything, see what we can do. He's actually going to go down and away off pit road.
I believe that thing's going to be hurt worse than that, Phil.
Yeah, he looked like he made contact with that left rear tire.
And also on the outside wall, too.
Yeah, exactly.
8th green-white checker of 2006 finish. It's Clint Boyer right in front of Kyle Busch as they go into turn number 1. 2 laps of racing to go.
Clint has got to hold that throttle right down to the floor. If he runs wide open, Kyle may not have a shot at him, but Kyle's pulled right up to his bumper.
And there
Look
goes
to the
Boyer
outside.
again. Boyer again, protecting that inside, Phil.
And look who's on the inside. Mike Skinner, Jack Sprague also looking. Skinner gets by Sprague, and now it's a race for the top spot. Busch goes to the high side. Boyer down on the low side.
Going to be 1 lap to go here.
Kyle Busch will be very aggressive, Phil. He knows how Boyer is playing this game, and he's going to make sure that he gives him all he's got.
Less than a mile to go.
Ooh, big corner for Boyer. He was able to drive away from Kyle Busch a little bit.
Looked like Kyle lost the front end for just a second there in the middle of the corner.
That could be enough for Clint Boyer to claim his first win. Both of them right on the white line as they go through 3 and 4. Coming out of 4, it's Clint Boyer going to take the win in the Chevy Silverado 350.
Good job. Woohoo!
Be interesting to see if Skinner drives up there to voice or to show his displeasure with Boyer. I believe I'd stay wide open if I were Boyer right now. Just make sure there's no any controversy.
Oh, it's absolutely awesome. Wonderful. You know, great to set on the pole here at the Silverado 350 and come on and win it. Unbelievable. Of course, I'm from Oklahoma, so this is kind of my home track. It even makes it sweeter.
All right, congratulations, David Dollar, the owner of this team, going to victory lane. Still a few questions about what all will be happening with that team in 2007.
The whole line. I mean, we came down here and tested, and we spent a day just working on qualifying. Then we started drafting. In drafting practice the other night, man, for the shootout, my car was good. I was able to drive to the front, even drove around Dale Jr. till I ran out of gas. So pretty happy about what we're going to have tonight, or this afternoon. Not real excited about what's going to happen here when I take the old Napa car to the track.
Well, now that you and Dale Jr. aren't teammates, does that mean you still work together in drafting?
I called him right after practice that night, and I said, dude, it'd be pretty cool to see the old Napa car and the Budweiser car up front in the Bud shootout on Saturday night. And we didn't get to race last night. We'll do it this afternoon. But we know what we're doing. You know, we can take cars and go to the front with them, and we're starting tail to nose. And so it's my job, my idea that I'm going to push them all the way up through there. It was cool to me the other night during practice that there the Napa car was and there the Budweiser car was in front of everybody, like nothing had ever changed. But I know it's going to be harder this afternoon to do it again, but I like what I got. I like the way that car drives. Derek Finley's a real smart dude. He's given me a good car to work with. Thanks to Doug Bobble for the association that he put together for us. Bill Davis, my helmet just fell. South Express, Pizza, and Best Western.
All right, I was going to say, this time when you pass Junior this afternoon, don't run out of fuel, okay? That's a bad thing, all right? You want to have all the fuel in you can.
Thank you, Marty, and thank you, Michael. And that 55 car is locked into the Daytona 500 field because of Doug Bobble, who Michael was just talking about. Michael basically investing or buying the team that Bobble had closed the doors on, the Penske Bobble operation over there, and got the points from what was the 77 car a year ago.
Of course, a lot of deals going on in the wintertime now.
Well, and it speaks to how critical it is to make the Daytona 500.
Yes.
So Michael could call Napa and say, hey, we're definitely in the Daytona 500 because I spent this money. Bud Pole qualifying presented by Pizza Hut live on NBC from Daytona Beach, Florida. Larry Foyt coming around to complete his second qualifying lap. Was 36th on his first lap, 36th of the 45 cars that have made a run.
And he goes up to the 29th position, 48.615.
Matt?
On the pole 1 year ago, DJ.
You know, as of yesterday, we would have made it. We would be the fourth car, and I'm pretty confident that one of those cars in front of us are going to race their way in. But the Jim Beam Chevrolet has been really good. We learned a lot down here testing. We believe we have a half a second from where we were yesterday. So if we come back and run a 10, we'll make it easy. Greg Irwin and Frank Kerr, everybody on the race team has been doing a great job. All the Fab guys back in the shop, and I'm pretty confident that they build us good race cars for this year. TEI power should be pretty good. You know, even though the other guys don't look so good, you know, you got Menard and Truex and Junior all there right next to each other. But I think our car's pretty good. I think Jim Beam Chevrolet will be just fine.
And I know you don't want to have to race your way in like you did last year, and you still finished well in that race, but couldn't make it in the 500.
Well, we finished 7th in the 150 a year ago, and you know, any other year you'd start Daytona 500 14th, but we were 6th quickest down here in drafting practice. We think our car's gonna be pretty good.
All right, Robbie going to have to race his way in or qualify his way in, hoping to get in on speed today.
Thanks, Marty. A very complicated formula to fill out the field for the Daytona 500. Qualifying today, then the duels on Thursday, and the top 35 drivers from last season's owner points are already locked in. First lap for Derek Cope, not too good.
49th best at 49.779. In the duels, they take the top 2 cars that aren't in the show out of each race. Only the top 2.
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, the purpose, those races on Thursday don't serve the purpose they used to down here during speed weeks anymore.
Not with the top 35 cars locked in
right,
position.
Exactly right. Cope coming around to take the checkered flag. Was 49th. Moves up to 41st. Marty?
Well, Bill, the last car to go.
We give him a nod today is Steve Grissom in his 44 car. He started back in like the 29th position, and they came up here and tested. I talked to his brother-in-law / crew chief, said they had a good test here, and he's been right there on the verge of the top 10 all day long, stepping in his car just 3 races ago.
Running match team today. Trouble?
Yep, on the backstretch. Todd Cleaver is in it.
66 hit something that time.
Brad Coleman has had a very difficult day, and it has just come to a conclusion in that 66 car. Third caution of the day.
Just gets loose. He gets loose and he's saving it and saving it and saving it, and finally just got away from him. But he got loose and he slid up, then he got clobbered by Cleaver.
There was another car back there too, wasn't there?
He may not have hit that wall if he didn't get hit. Yeah, he may have spun all the way to the inside, or he wouldn't have hit that hard, and that was just a 59 car.
Stacy Compton got a piece of the wall. Danny O'Quinn slid to the inside. Jason Leffler's on board.
Low. Coming directly behind you. Attaboy. Good.
Whoa.
Slow down. Stay high. Good job. Keep now go. Good.
That's good work by the spotter right there.
That's Mark Green.
Yeah.
He spots for me on Sunday. He's used to keeping people out of wrecks.
Under caution here at Kansas, Matt Kenseth is the race leader in the yellow 300.
Really hard. Uh-oh. There it is.
We're straight. Don't go to the wall. Okay, good job. Okay, bring it in, boys. He just had a...
Chris Horn brings out the caution. 4th of the race.
If he touched him or not. Maybe.
On board the 38 car. Hard to tell there. Horn comes to pit road. Caution is out with 71 laps to go. Matt Kenseth wins 68 laps between pit stops from lap 27 to lap 95. So they are basically right on the edge of the window. The lucky dog goes to Bobby Labonte. He will come around and be the 14th.
Here they are entering turn number 3. That's Andy Feature runs in the back of the 75 of David Starr. That turn knocks him into the 18 of Chad Shepard. Now everyone's just trying to find a way out.
Oh, and he didn't keep his brake clock, like Rick says, trying to get the thing in a position so he wouldn't lose a lap. Could get on his way back right in front of the 22, I think.
I think it was Robert Huffman, maybe the 12 truck. We saw the damage there. Another bad break for Robert Huffman. He's had nothing but breath. Another shot up it there. You see Andy driving the corner, gets into the 75. Watch now. If he just held his brakes right here, he wouldn't back down, and it is 12, Robert Huffman.
12. But Andy just, Andy overshot that turn and ran into the 75.
Steve Clark also involved in that, trying to come to a stop, but got in behind the 18 of Chad Shepard. Here comes all the leaders down pit road. Bobby Hamilton leading the field down pit road right now as they will get a big stop taking place.
Track temperature right now, and we'll keep an eye on that as that goes up as it gets later.
First car rolls in Bud Pole qualifying. Derek Cope, the 1990 Daytona 500 winner, will go out first. Spanaway, Washington native, trying to make his 3rd start of the Winston Cup season so far. And, you know, just to talk more about whether or not we'll see a track record, BP, they've done some things to the track surface here that will play into that.
I guess they diamond ground the racetrack to try to take every bump there was off the surface, and it is very smooth. And they tell me that grinding also gave the tires a tremendous amount of grip. So that's one reason the cars are faster. Number one, race cars just get faster because the teams just keep working on them. They develop a better race car, more horsepower, but grip also has a place as far as speed is concerned, and I do believe we will see a new track record. The old track record was 49.70, a little over 181 miles per hour. The guys in practice yesterday were 0.2 of a second faster than that.
Derek Cope was only 42nd fastest in practice, and what that means is he has to make the top 36 in time trials. The way the field is determined, the fastest 36 time trial speeds get the first 36 spots in the Brickyard 400. Then they go to the top drivers in owner points that are not otherwise qualified to get the provisional starting spots. Derek's only run 2 races this year. They don't have enough owner points that they're going to get a provisional.
And I think it's going to be a little bit similar to last weekend at Pocono. I see Derek's car is pretty much completely taped up, so I don't know how many cars are actually going to take their second lap.
I don't think that many cars will take that second lap because you're right. They're not going to give up anything to get that fast lap in. And I don't know that you can run 2 with the grill, with everything taped up and no air at all going into the radiator to cool the water.
Is that going to be fast enough to make it? 50.73?
Well, I don't think so. That's a little bit faster than he practiced yesterday, but about 0.2 of a second. But I don't think that's going to be fast enough.
Look at the grill there, all taped over like while he was talking. And the reason that a lot of people are debating the 1 lap or 2 is because of the 1 engine rule.
Yes, because they have to race the engine that they have in the car here. They can't change engines after qualifying. They can change engines, but they have to give up their qualifying position and go to the rear. And we see he's got just a touch of opening in the front grille to get some air in. And we see he slowed down on the second lap. A lot of teams paying attention to that.
Back at the Brickyard, the 57 cars on the racetrack, and Robbie Gordon, you were 3rd, now 4th. You should get hurt more often. You seem to pick up a lot of speed, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's good. I thought we barely missed it until I saw Tony go run that 19, but you know, it's a good run for the singular team. Kevin Hamlin, the guys, they know their way around this racetrack. My injuries don't seem to be hurting me too much here. Obviously, qualifying is one thing, racing something different, and I think we have a good race car for the race.
Robbie Gordon picked up over half a second, Bill.
Bowling Green, Kentucky, Stuart Kirby finishing his qualifying run. Not probably going to be good enough to get him into the Brickyard 400.
Once again, I think it's going to take 50.50 to make the show. You see Stewart's time, 51.276.
12 cars have qualified. There are 50 here for the 43 starting spots in the race. And next scheduled onto the track will be Joe Nemechek. He'll be followed by Jimmy Spencer.
A lot of places with bumps. So what the guys are doing to get an aerodynamic advantage is to keep that front air dam sealed up. And if you notice, they're keeping the side skirts sealed up too. They're getting the car as low as they can so air doesn't go under it. It helps it aerodynamically and takes a lot of drag out of it. And what they do is they'll run a spring as soft or softer as a place. We'll run at Martinsville or somewhere like that and let the aerodynamics hold the car for 1 lap.
It's amazing the technology as far as springs are concerned nowadays, because you're running things you never would have dreamed of at these type of tracks.
We are, and that's largely because the cars are so aerodynamic sensitive now. Aerodynamics is such a big part of our package. I hope they go back the other way and give us back some more mechanical grip and give the driver back some feel.
Because?
Well, because I feel like it would make the racing a little bit better. It would make the passing easier. If you took the aerodynamics away from the cars, we wouldn't have that aero push that a lot of guys are complaining about, and the cars could run side by side. If you get really dependent on air and then you take the air away, you lose your whole package.
Obviously, some of the guys going later now are going to try and make an adjustment with air pressure to get a little more grip.
Yeah, the guys that are going later, it's going to hurt them. There's no doubt about it. This track, the hotter it gets, the slower it gets. Even if your car's got a good balance, it just won't have as much grip. So the guys that went earlier had a little bit of an advantage. But I'm going to try and check. I'm going to check with my new chassis expert over here. He's going to tell us what to do, what we should do with the 19 and the 7.
It's amazing some of the fashions here at the Indianapolis.
It's I heard that he borrowed that outfit from you, Bill.
No, that is not true.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Victory lane for you last week. So far, a great run for Bill Elliott. Evernham Motorsports performing very well.
They come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, that's actually Bill's uniform. He is our new aerodynamicist.
This gentleman is.
Yes, he is. But they are, and I'm very proud of Mike Ford and his group. They're very intense, working hard, and Bill Elliott is doing a great job for us, and hopefully it can translate into a good run for tomorrow.
Okay, well, thanks for coming by and working with us on our team caliber car here, and don't forget to take your crewman back.
Yeah, and the next time I come, can we put a Dodge body on that thing?
Well, we'll work. I knew.
Bud Pole qualifying on TNT from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, setting the starting field for tomorrow's Brickyard 400. Here's Ted Musgrave. It's been an adventurous qualifying run for him so far.
Yeah, he had his hands full
Still does.
And on his first lap, getting into turn 1, he wrecked it 3 or 4 times, BP, but just didn't hit anything.
Looking to make his 300th Winston Cup start. He will come up 18th out of 25 so far.
And we're halfway, and if they take 36 cars in time, you need to be in the top 18, and that's exactly where he is if it plays out.
He almost didn't have a chance to run that second lap.
He came in, and I mean, this thing was sliding all over the place. Came out of 1, almost hit the wall, but kept it off the wall.
I tell you what, a lesser race car driver would have crashed.
And this is on his second lap off of turn 4 that we saw live.
When they leave black marks coming off the 4th corner, they're a little bit loose.
It's the Brickyard 400 on NBC. Coverage begins with Discover Card Countdown to Green. No, we talked about Tom Carnegie, the longtime PA announcer here at the track. Many years of broadcasting here in this town. What a voice. He's just such a part of the fabric of this speedway. Let's listen in as he brings someone around for their effort to get into the Brickyard 400 field.
Car number 48 is on the bubble. Jimmy Johnson in the low Chevrolet is on the bubble. He's on the run now. Car number 71 at the south end of the track. He was an IROC test driver in his last appearance at Indianapolis. That was way back in 1995. IROC competition, the 100-miler coming up shortly after 1 o'clock today. Number 71 is on the course. The driver, Jim Souter. End of the track. Wiggles a little bit. Here he is. Let's see if he's successful. 38th quick. 176.236 miles an hour.
That
51 and 68 thousandths of a second. He's still out there trying to better it.
Yeah. Alan, you have been replaced.
Squeeze into the field of guaranteed starters. He's 38.
I've been listening to him for about 25 years. Really?
Yeah, well, your dad, for folks that might not know,
raced since 1967.
Yep. Tom Carnegie, the voice of the Speedway. Always a pleasure to hear.
You know you're in the big time when you hear him say, and he's on it. And he's talking about you. There you go.
All right, Jim Sauter needing to get some time if he's going to crack the field. 38th fastest. He needs to be in the top 36. Lap number 2 is not going to be any quicker.
A little bit slower, so the 71 car with Sauter will not qualify. Marty Snyder, have you got a guy down there that's looking for the pole?
I have found a guy who's looking for the pole.
Casey Kane, Bobby Hamilton Jr., their Fords right now sit on the front row in front of the Pontiacs of Mike Bliss and Joe Nemechek, and the Chevys of Ron Hornaday and his teammate Johnny Sauter. Chase Montgomery won the February ARCA race here, the 19-year-old trying for his first Busch Series start.
He was 22nd quickest in practice. Pretty fast. You know why? Look at the flames on the side of that car. I think that's supposed to be flames. But we talk about teams getting a little bit of a bind now. Chase Montgomery, he ran 7 of the first 9 Busch races this year, actually driving for the 27 car that Joey Clanton. Now Joey's in that car with that sponsor Trim Spa full time. So what they decided to do, this is actually owned, this team is owned by Chase Montgomery and his dad. So they're down here with the same group that did his ARCA effort.
And this will be his first try at the July race. He did run here back in February. Started 27th and got a top 10 finish. 29th on his first lap. He'll need to pick it up.
And they bought this car from the 48 team. This is a car that Shane Mill had, because now they've elected Shane Mill. They run the Pontiacs like we were talking earlier at the super speedways.
They have no provisional points, Larry, since this is a first-time effort. So he has to make it into the top 36. He's got to beat 11 cars on time. Right now, Jamie McMurray is the last driver locked into the field in 24th place.
And if he picks up a half a second, that'll put him in the mid-49s. A lot of 49-40s there right there, though. Probably need to at least run in the low 40s.
Did it.
49-42.
19th fastest, so Chase Montgomery is in the show tomorrow night.
Decided to give Jim Michaels a try with the engines because Jim Michaels built the engines for the ARCA races that he set on the pole here and won here as well.
This company builds a lot of winning engines in the NASCAR modified division as well, out of is it Wakarusa, Indiana, or something that sounds just like that. Performance Technologies. So Montgomery, time trials in. Bud Pole qualifying for the NASCAR Busch Series at Daytona, where Casey Kane and Bobby Hamilton Jr. currently hold the front row. A lot of Pontiacs, as we've mentioned, because the Pontiac body shape for NASCAR's two fastest speedways in 2002 body style trim seems to be the quicker of the two GM nameplates. So we're seeing a lot more here than usual, and this is one of them. Larry Hollenbeck in a Pontiac number 62. Looking for his second career start.
The real challenge for NASCAR in making these teams still run the old body, a lot like what we saw in Winston Cup in past years, the bodies are different. The greenhouse area is very different. In other words, the roof and the windshield and the back window. So to try to equal the cars out, what makes it a challenge for NASCAR is most of the manufacturers have different size spoilers. We talked about the Pontiac. It's 7 inches tall, where on the Ford is only 6 1/4 inches, and on the Chevy and the Dodge is 6 1/2 inches tall. And also the Pontiac rear spoiler is 2 inches wider than the other makes, but still the center of that rear spoiler is down further. That's the reason so many teams elect to run the Pontiac Grand Prix here.
First lap for Hollenbeck is 30th fastest, and he's on the get-go list. He missed the show here in February. As you look at Dale Jr. and Michael Waltrip waiting their chance to run. So Hollenbeck well down the provisional points order. Probably will have to time trial into the field, and that means he's got to beat 5 more cars on this second lap.
I mean, just watching Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip, it's hard to believe in Winston Cup that DEI, those two guys right there, have won 8 of the last 10 Winston Cup restrictor plate races.
Hollenbeck.
Now, and it, you know, everybody's going to start moving up a little bit more all the time.
I keep saying Hamilton Jr. He's the only Hamilton in this field. His dad also ran this race at Daytona, but not here at Rockingham. Todd Bodine carrying Motor Racing Outreach on that Buckshot Racing Chevrolet, a nonprofit organization that ministers to the Winston Cup and Busch drivers and teams, and boy, have they been a godsend this past week.
Well, they've been here for about the last 10 or 12 years now, 15, and Max Helton and Dale Beaver. Dale did the service for at Dale Earnhardt's funeral. They know their stuff, and they're good, godly men, and they're here all the time, and they take care of the drivers, crews, and wives. Good to have them in the garage.
And Darrell, they're not just nationwide anymore; they're worldwide. Larry has a chaplain in Formula One and in other racing circuits around the world.
They sure do.
Todd Bodine leads Bobby Hamilton Jr. Greg Biffle, Mike McLaughlin has displaced Kenny Wallace at 4th.